Hi everybody, this is Alchemist 2, or I'm going to start calling myself Azure Mist as well, because I had a dream about that, but it just sounds good, Azure Mist, but, anywho, I recently finished Jim Butcher's Small Favor, which is the 10th book in the Dresden Files series, and in this particular one, he's still training Molly, which is Charity's daughter. And from the past book, we learned White Knight. We learned quite a bit about Charity herself, and more about Thomas and the vampires of the White Court. In this particular book, the Fae are involved, and of course, Toot Toot returns, and he calls Harry the Zaw Lord because Harry's always given a type of pizza to do his bidding, or something sweet, because the various favorite things are sweet. I used that in one of my tales, which is called Sweet Shop Fairies, when they work at a sweet shop. It made sense, and all the fairies had different abilities based on their names, and it was kind of a mixture of fairies versus strawberry shortcake and et al. Anywho, the archive, again, she appears in this, and Harry calls her Ivy, for lack of a better name. He couldn't have thought of something more elaborate, but he names this incarnation of knowledge the archive, and actually her origin is really quite tragic, and it's heartbreaking to read about it in this particular book. It just makes you feel so sad for her, but then you realize why she's so cold and emotionally distant, why she has to be that way. She can't really form any kind of relationship with anyone. She has to remain aloof and distant and sterile. She has to be very emotionless, kind of like Spock from Star Trek, even though Spock's half human. I really like the fact that in this particular book it mentions that Thomas, the vampire from the White Court, is actually Harry's half-brother, and it explains that. And Leah shows up again. Of course, Mab is involved. The Mab, and Titania, Summer and Winter, the Queens of Summer and Winter, I should say. And of course, Slade was killed. He was the Winter Knight, and of course, Mab always gives him the temptation to become the next Winter Knight, and he would have everything that he could possibly desire, but of course he would be driven completely insane. That's the one thing. And well, it's only going to cost you your soul, Mr. Dresden. But of course, he turns down that Faustian order, and he just declines it altogether. And it's really quite amazing, this particular chapter in the series, and it's really quite a lot of fun. It's only 541 pages, and it seems that he and Karen get kind of cozy in this one, which I thought was really interesting, because I always thought that they had kind of a thing together, even though she's just this hard-boiled, hard-nosed police officer. She's actually a captain now. She's no longer Lieutenant Murphy. She's Captain Murphy. So when he calls her Lieutenant at first, she actually corrects him, and he's kind of demeaned a bit and emasculated by her comments, and it's actually quite funny. Even though he doesn't mention it, he does kind of begrudgingly say that he did find her snide remarks a bit dehumanizing and kind of vitriolic. And it was just really a lot of fun, this particular episode, I should say. I'm not sure what else to call them. It's getting to be more interesting, and it makes you feel kind of sad for those who are involved in the White Court. We learn more in the next book, which is called Turncoat, and it's even more interesting, I think, because it's just more involved with gentleman Johnny Marcone. He comes back to the forefront again. He's basically the overlord of Chicago. He's the head of the mafia, and he does all of these deals in back alleys and black markets, shenanigans, and it's really quite good fantasy fiction, noir, suspense type drama, if you like that kind of thing. And of course it's right up my alley because it's got magic involved, and Harry is the best of the best, and that's why they call upon him. And the fact that he has his godmother to help him is quite impressive, and that she is part of the Fae is, yeah. You don't mess with the Fae. The Fae are very powerful, crafty beings, like I said before. That's basically all I have to say about Small Favor, and I'm reading Turncoat right now, so as soon as I finish with that one, I will let you know what I think of it. So until next time, see you later.